episode 44. This is the Inside Deschutes County podcast. Wherever you might be and however you might be listening, thanks for making us a part of your day. You can subscribe on any podcast platform. You can also find us on deschutes.org/podcast.
Deschutes County is an amazing place to live,
Ease of access,
work, and play.
Great place to raise a family.
I love the weather and the high desert.
At Deschutes County, we provide excellent service.
Beautiful.
We're here to help you.
Deschutes County is the heart of Oregon.
Everyone wants to be here.
Welcome to Inside Deschutes County. Today we're diving into a very important topic, supporting young adults in their journey toward mental health and recovery. Joining me today are Alivia Duncan and Dustin Painter from Deschutes County Behavioral Health and the Intensive Youth Services team. Welcome to you both. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Eric.
Well, let's dive right in because you're here to discuss a new initiative designed to connect young adults with resources for substance abuse and mental health challenges. It's called RecoverMe. So let's dig in. Can you tell us more about the RecoverMe campaign, how this all is going to work? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Come on, Dustin.
I think like
No stress here, by the way.
no stress.
No stress. We're just going to chit chat. We're just going to talk about recovery.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, and I think like at the heart of this campaign is really going to be building community with others. Struggles with mental health and substance use, like there's a lot of stigma that comes with that. And I think at times it prevents people from seeking out care or delaying getting in care. And I think part of this is going to be like letting people know it's okay. Like people struggle. And also like building a community of others with shared lived experiences. I think like one of the cool things about living in Central Oregon is we have a really strong community. And if we can harness that energy to help others in their journey and get help and live lives that they want to live, I think that everybody's just going to be better for it.
Mm-hmm.
Super important.
Yeah, I also want to add, recover, like the whole campaign, RecoverMe campaign, is really destigmatizing the idea of I have a substance use disorder, and that fear that goes along with the stigma of do I get help? Where do I get help? What resources is out there? I feel like especially what we've done at IYS and within the community has been really focused on destigmatizing mental health. And now it's kind of time to address SUD and, substance use and all the, behaviors and everything that goes into being someone that may be a substance user who wants to start exploring, maybe it is time to get into recovery. Like letting those people know that, hey, we're here. We have resources. We want to help. Our door's open.
Yeah, because you guys are doing this work now.
Yes.
We should clarify this work is going on. Mm-hmm. So how does this RecoverMe campaign kind of support the work that you're already doing? What's the goal here?
I think to just bring more awareness that you're not alone. And I think especially young people in our community, we live in an area, you go around the corner, there's a brewery, there's a dispensary. And I think it's really difficult when you're in your early 20s or even teenage years to like just be faced with that. Like, this is what my peers do. Like, they all want to get together, go do trivia night. They want to go do this. And alcohol and other substances can be a focal point of bringing people together. And I think it's really difficult. Like, you don't want to miss out. Like, you want to build those connections, have that community, have those friendships. Mm-hmm. But finding ways for substances and alcohol to not be the focal point of getting together with people.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what kind of challenges are unique to the young adults here? Kind of when it comes to substance use, you named a few.
Yeah.
I mean, brewery on every corner.
Yeah.
Dispensary on every corner. I mean, there's a lot going on that they can get wrapped into, right?
Yeah, and thinking, oh, that's the only way that I can socialize and really connect to peers that are close to my age range, which is one of the challenges. And we have something that we can actually share that can address that barrier. And we can get to that here in a second. But I would say another challenge or barrier would be just the idea of, oh, I'm a young person, not knowing, right? We don't know what we don't know. So if someone doesn't have an idea of what is out there, or maybe they're lacking some natural supports, maybe they don't have supportive family members that are going to say, hey, you might have a problem. You might want to address that. I think that's really hard for individuals that feel isolated or
On an island.
feel
Right.
alone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like I've had a couple individuals talk to me about, even when I am hanging out with friends and, like they're drinking beer, like I drink differently and they don't quite know what's going on. They just know that like their friends are not experiencing the same consequences they are, or, oh, my friends can, have 1 or 2 drinks and be fine and I can't do that. And it's kind of like an entry point, of like finding alternative community. Like it can be really isolating, feeling like you're sitting amongst a group of friends and still not connecting, or sitting with people and they're like not understanding, like, why can't you just do this like the rest of us?
That's why it can feel so lonely.
Yeah.
For people like us. I'm a person in recovery myself, and feeling like, oh, the people that I'm hanging out with don't get it because they, there's a lot of shame and guilt attached because you do know you're different and you're set apart in a way.
So how does this campaign, and I know it's new to you too, right? Just kind of trying to figure out all that it provides, but how do you think it's going to encourage young people, to really embrace their recovery? Because I think that's probably one of the hardest things. Like, I've got to figure this thing out and really, kind of come to grips with the fact that they are in recovery.
Yeah, I think,
or learning how to be different, act different, or just be, with other people who are going through similar things.
yeah, I think like one of the big things is you don't have to go about it alone. Like there are people, that have lived experience. I'm also in recovery, and I was born and raised in this community, and I was in my young 20s when I got into recovery, and finding things to do. Like it's either outdoors, which I'm not a snow sport person, so
What?
I don't
Come
do snow.
on.
I don't like being cold and wet. And
It's pretty cold this week, by the way.
it sure is.
Yeah.
And I don't think if I put, like skis on my feet, I would piece back together as quick as I used to. But, trying to find things
You and
to
me
do.
both.
Yeah. Like finding community, like I think reducing that sense of isolation and I have to do this on my own. And it's something I have to keep hidden from others. I think like reducing these things is like really what the campaign is going for is, there are others out there, like build a community around you, like talk to others, engage in honest conversations. They can be really hard and, to be vulnerable like that, but it can also lead to some of the best friendships. Like you can't really build deep relationships without vulnerability. And I think the more people that share that vulnerability, especially if they're struggling with mental health or substances, like it can build lifelong connections.
I think really that's why testimonies are so valuable because, say somebody looks on the website and they're like, oh, okay, they're looking around on the internet for resources and information. Just they don't know, they don't know where to start. They don't know where to look. And then they come across people's stories, right? And people's stories is what helps kind of ignite that, oh, I'm not alone in this. And there are
powerful.
people, that are like me that have experienced the same struggles. And so it really opens up that gateway to vulnerability and connection.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah, and I think too, like, especially if you're young, like there's this idea that it has to be bad enough before you get help. And, even if you're just like questioning, like, is this something I struggle with? Like a place to talk to others, that are also unsure or, who know for themselves, like, yeah, I definitely struggle with this. I think it provides like an entry point to less suffering, like at the end of the day, and a place to, yeah, I think just connect. I think like that's like one of the biggest things is how lonely and isolating. I keep repeating those two words, but I think it's just really lonely and isolating to feel like you're completely alone and have these big struggles.
Yeah, breaking down those walls, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are big things that you got to just hammer away all the time and be really consistent on. I think one of the things I really love about the work that you guys do is the work at the drop. And both of you are involved with the drop, and it's a place which, supports young people, just lets them be, which I think is really, really important. First of all, let's kind of explain a little bit more about the drop for people that don't know, like what services and support are available at the drop in Bend and Redmond.
Yeah. Dustin, you can kind of talk about it because you're an OG, and then I can add on to what we did this last year.
Yeah, so the drop is just a space for individuals 14 to 26 to come and just be themselves. We can help connect you with resources. We have peer support specialists, case managers, substance use counselors that help staff this space. We have free laundry on site. We have hygiene products, clothing. Really, our goal is like to provide a welcoming space for people to come in. And if they would like help getting connected to others or get connected to resources in our community, we do our best to help facilitate that. And then I think one of the other things too is we have a lot of people, they're like, I want more friends in my life. And it's really easy, or at least for me, I'll speak for myself here. It's really so much easier if there's like an activity I can do instead of like just sitting down and having a conversation with somebody new. Like if I can work on a puzzle or play a game while talking to somebody, it helps relieve some of that social pressure and can bring people together.
Yeah, I've seen that in action there because it's really interesting because it can be awkward. When you walk in the door, you don't know people, you don't know what they're going through, they don't know what I'm going through, but oh, hey, we can work on an art project together, or we can tackle a puzzle or play video games and let that conversation happen organically.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and sometimes, meeting a first person, it's like, what do I do with my hands?
I always think about that with The Office and like their commercial with Michael Scott. He has 2 coffee mugs in his hands because he doesn't know what to. Oh, it's fantastic. Highly recommend.
I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah, keep those hands occupied for sure. Another thing I just wanted to add real quick to the drop space is that there's a lot of peers, so peer support specialists, and so those of us that maybe, our title isn't peer, but we are peers, and we have, Dustin and I both have lived experience where, they come in, young adults come in, young people come and get to connect with others that, once again, share similarities, share some of those things, have gone through same trials and tribulations, and just connecting organically in an open forum space like that is really helpful.
How do you think the RecoverMe campaign might shed some light on the work done at the drop? Like, it's kind of like hey, we're gonna boost it up a little bit, right? We're gonna like wave the flag. Hey, come look at us. We're doing. There's opportunity here.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, is that kind of the goal with this campaign, to kind of weave the two together?
Yeah.
And get people in your doors.
I think that too, and also just let people know that there is a space where like substances aren't going to be the sole focus. Like, we are substance free in the drop. You can come there if you're struggling and just need some other individuals that, just want to hang out, don't have any expectations of me, to just kind of come and be. And also, like, for individuals, if this is their first time and they don't know where to start getting engaged in services, like, we can be that first contact. We can be that entry point to help get them connected.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you, Eric. Getting people through the door, and it can work vice versa as well, right? We can connect young people and kind of show them RecoverMe campaign and help encourage them to get more involved and kind of get their voices out there as well. Again, just circling back to trying to shed away the stigma and the shame of being an individual that struggles with addiction and wants to make some changes and have a different lifestyle and yeah.
And I think like with that, like providing hope that it can get better. Like that this isn't like something that's going to be around forever, that things will change. That there are adults in recovery that have also struggled, that there's other peers that are struggling and are feeling better now. Mm-hmm. Like I think that hope piece is really big as well.
Yeah, and you can see it in people and you can see, the light that kind of comes back to their face, once somebody has gotten more plugged in, maybe even access some resources that we offer, within the drop, and maybe even gotten connected to like mental health services if that's what's needed, and also some maybe like self-help or community-based recovery groups, because we are very open about, hey, this is what's out there, this is what may be able to help you or be a good fit. You see people engaging in those sort of things, and you see the sparkle kind of return to their eyes.
You see a lot, Alivia, about them learning about life too. When I visited, you can see them, helping each other get a driver's license, or sign up for things, or things that they might not necessarily be getting the education part. That goes a long way to the light that you were talking about, because it can help, instill some confidence, which then helps. It's a trickle down effect, right? It helps, kind of steer maybe away from the substances, or help them with their mental health, or just feel like, hey, I can do this, and there's other people here who maybe have been down the road.
Yeah, I always think about like sharing like experience, strength, and hope are kind of like the three big things. And one of my favorite things is when like you see somebody that first came in and really struggled to engage, suddenly start talking to a few more peers, and suddenly they're like hanging out outside the drop. Like there's been some really cool examples of that, like going thrift store shopping together, and then like, oh hey, when I was getting my driver's license, and then like young people sharing their life experiences with other young people, and that kind of building upon itself. It's really cool to see when like young people take the initiative on that. Like, I'll speak for myself. When I was young, talking to adults and getting told what to do and was not my favorite activity. I know that's shocking. People love being told what to do. But I think it's different when it comes from somebody your age or with similar experiences. I think that can be a lot more powerful than like, me kind of a stuffy adult now. That was a sad realization the other day that I'm no longer the young guy. But, it's okay. Like, it's just a transition. But I think it's really powerful when like these changes and experiences are initiated amongst peers themselves, which is what I really think this campaign kind of focuses on too, is everybody can help each other. Like you don't have to be perfect. You can still have struggles. There's no age requirement. Like everybody has valuable experience they can share.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that and kind of use that as a jumping off point as to how the community can support the campaign, but also be the drop in general. So, I mean, I know word of mouth, super important.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that the community in Deschutes County can do to support this campaign and the efforts going on at the drop?
Well, very similar to what our community partners already do, Eric, is putting up like the drop flyers, on their cork boards every week. We have a lot of local schools that participate in that, and the juvenile department's great at reminding people about the drop, and even if we could get more word out there about the campaign and just having simple flyers and calendars up on walls for people to see, is a huge help. Because
So where can people go if they want to support this? Like, should they reach out to you guys, or call somebody in order to, hey, we can help you? Any ideas on that?
I mean, I think like this is like
we're generating ideas right here and now.
Yes,
That's
you're
what we're
doing so
doing.
I think like the ultimate goal is that there's no wrong door. Like there's no like, you can have a conversation with somebody at school, somebody at juvenile, somebody in the grocery store, like just there being no wrong door to being able to get connected. I think is kind of like the ultimate goal. I feel like, we work very closely with our community partners, and I feel like we have a really good relationship with each other's organizations in our community. And that's like one of our strengths is like we know about each other's services. And so like, if there's something that we can't address, we can help point that person in the right direction and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, and even now, this platform, hey, anyone that's listening, the Wall Street drop is, located at 1340 Northwest Wall in Bend. And one thing I didn't mention was last year, January, we were able to open up a second location for a Redmond drop. And that location
Great location.
It's perfect. It's amazing.
It's a really cute spot, real comfy for, young people.
244 Kingwood.
244 Northwest Kingwood.
Great space and very welcoming. Pretty much all the services that are at the Bend location are in Redmond too.
Yes.
So that's pretty awesome. What advice would you give to family, friends, maybe even young people who are listening to this, who are thinking about, hey, the drop sounds like something that might be helpful for either somebody I know or themselves personally?
I say give it a try.
Come on in.
Yeah, like we'll give you a tour.
It can't hurt.
Yeah. We can take 10 minutes of your time. Probably won't even be that long. Show you around, kind of orient people to the space, explain the services that we can offer. And if there's questions, we always try to connect people with, to meet the need. And if there's something we can't address, we don't want to just be like, can't do that. Bye. Like, we want people to walk away feeling like they gained like some resources or knowledge or potentially like another place to just come be.
Yeah. If we don't have the answer, we'll find an answer.
So besides getting more people in the door, which I know is important, are there any other goals you might have for the drop, the campaign, them together, working together throughout? We're still in January, so for the rest of the year, any things that are kind of top of mind for you?
I think just empowering people to share their own stories. Kind of like I talked about before, like when peers are sharing with peers, I think that, just within our own personal lives, having more honest conversations with our friends and family and, initiating those hard conversations and knowing that, it may not go as planned, but you're not alone in this. And I think also like empowering young people that their voice is powerful. Like it may not feel like it right now, but like your story has power. Like storytelling has been around for like millennia. And I think that's just something that we can utilize. Like it's learned wisdom over, thousands of years, that sharing our stories with each other carries a lot of power.
Because you see success with these programs.
Yeah.
Right, the drop. And then obviously the support like RecoverMe and the other things that you do throughout the years.
Yeah.
You see success.
Yeah. I mean, and I always think of it like there is a recovery avenue for everyone, right? And it's not one size fits all. So, I was going to mention Dustin and I, we do offer a recovery group on Mondays at 5 at the Wall Street drop location, and that's open to the community. But, aside from what we facilitate and offer within our building, we can truly give accurate, up-to-date information on whatever type of community-based groups are offered and available. And yeah, there isn't as many maybe available to younger people or younger adults, But Dustin mentioned, I think that we're getting a lot better about that and offering more support that's, going to be a fit. And, like I said, it can't hurt to come into the drop, and it can't hurt to try some of these recovery support groups that have been successful for, thousands of people throughout the years.
Yeah.
Drop in.
Drop in.
Drop in.
Yeah.
You might get pizza. There's a lot of pizza there.
There's a
That'd
lot
be
of
fantastic.
pizza.
I think
do
I've
love
always had pizza there when I've dropped in to see what was going on.
I've had tacos before too, and
Oh,
I was
tacos.
also not
Tacos.
sad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of food at the drops. So.
Yeah.
We always carry snacks too.
Yep.
Olivia Duncan, Dustin Fanning Painter, thank you so much for coming on here to talk about RecoverMe and the drop and the work that you guys are doing in Deschutes County. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. This
Yeah,
has been fun.
Thank you, Eric. It was great.
Again, my thanks to Olivia Duncan and Dustin Fanning Painter from Deschutes County Behavioral Health for joining us to talk about the RecoverMe campaign and the goals for the drop. If you'd like to find out more information about that campaign and the drop, you can go to deschutes.org/the drop. There you'll find out about services, hours, locations, everything you need to know. It's really a great program. Remember, you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure to click the follow buttons, drop us a review, a rating. We'd appreciate it. You can also find us at deschutes.org/podcast. But until next time, be safe out there.